65 to 79, two.
But it's basically. Then all the ones.
Best breakfast and then doing that.
Well, yeah, I think get Myers or something. How was outside? You just having your head.
To having my head in the bill. I didn't get this, and it's been in Myers the last couple times. So I just went there and then I thought, oh, I will. It's it. South side.
Your house coming off?
We go by.
Good afternoon, everyone. Notice is hereby given pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, that the city of Smithville will conduct a special called meeting on October 24th, 2025 at 12 p.m. in the council chambers of City Hall, 317 Main Street, Smithville, Texas. I call this meeting to order. We have no citizen comments. So discussion and action on an ordinance approving the budget amendments, amending the 2024-2025 fiscal year budget.
And to that end, we have our finance director and current city manager who are going to share some information with us to help us make some informed decisions.
All right, so I had sent over got the budget amendments finished and sent over to y'all this past week. I don't know if y'all have had a chance to look at them. If you look at looking at them individually, as you can see, the general fund, I had to make a few changes. It looks like that we will hopefully end the year on a positive note. I don't know if there was a couple of the bigger changes. One was in the property tax, the revenue line item in the property tax. That was in the way I had recorded it for the freeze. Because if you look, the debt service budget will also be amended. That number will go higher. This one had to go down just because I forgot to split the two numbers when I was doing the budget originally, being the first time that we did that. And then the other big change was the fact that we didn't get the airport grant, didn't go through the general fund like we had originally thought. So expense went down, but so did the revenue. They weren't there. So having to amend those line items to show what they actually were. Those were the bigger changes in the general fund.
Can you explain what happened and the impact of not getting the airport grant?
There was no, I mean, we still got the airport hangars. They just the funding did not go through the general fund like it was going to.
Yes.
Didn't use the rent.
Tag in here. Councilmember Jameson, those funds went from the tax note. We were supposed to get monies from TxDOT Aviation, and we did not. It was supposed to be a 90-10 match, but yet commitments were already made with the hangar owners in the way of a contract. So we utilized and was approved to utilize the tax note 2023 to pay for the hangars, which meant it didn't come from the general fund. The line item revenue in, revenue out.
Yeah, and
Okay, so they rejected your appeal to.
They did.
What was it? It was roughly 400,000, right? The grant.
375,000. We got 100,000 back reimbursed through the ramp grant. The remaining was from the tax note.
Okay.
And then one of those, there were 3 hangars in total. And I'm pulling this from deep back there. One of the hangars met the reversionary clause requirements. So unfortunately for the owner, that hangar reverted when the surviving spouse passed.
Okay.
So that was 120,000 that she didn't get, we didn't have to spend. So in totality, it was about 100, it was 120, I'm sorry, 120,000 that we transferred from the 2023 tax note to cover the hangar.
because one was paid through the ramp grant, one we just kind of got, I guess you could say free, and then the other one was through the tax note.
And so the 418,602, that is subtracting roughly the 375. And then there's additional others that you're talking, but that's what majority of that is.
But that was on the general fund. I don't know if y'all have any more questions regarding the general fund.
Cynthia, this is real random, but under grants and eco development, it's under other. it shows,
What page you on, Kathy?
I'm sorry. I don't think these pages are numbered, are they?
No numbers, Mitch.
It's just a random question. It shows under other, in the margin to the far right, the description is community engagement projects, billboards. Do the billboard like the one we divided between the chamber and, the city there on Highway 71? And also the Hope Floats billboard, is that the fund that, obviously that's what we're speaking to, correct?
Yes.
Okay, okay. I just wanted to confirm because I wasn't sure where that money was. So now I know. That's all I wanted. Thank you.
Councilmember Dunham, I want to add some additional information that I neglected regarding the hangars. One of the hangars was for 120,000. The one that reverted was for 140,000. We just got a CIP from TxDOT Aviation that says this is what we're going to give you allowances for. So in 2026, they've put in a magical number, $260,000 for hangar improvements. So they're kind of giving it back to us in the future that you guys can utilize that to make improvements at the airport. So, and that's back to Councilmember Jameson's question. Did they not? No, they didn't budge, but they made amends, if that makes sense.
They tried to make nice.
Yes,
Can that be used for
hangars,
creating new hangars or just
Yes.
improving existing ones?
either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I don't know if y'all have any more on the general one or, and then on the,
I can't find it, but there was a reference to changing how Jack Page is being handled. It's,
yeah, we had him originally, he was in a different line items and some stuff. Originally, we had him in on contract labor. And then we ended up moving him and paying him through the payroll, more to get the workers' comp because he was out in the field and stuff. So by us initially when he left and retired, we ran him as contract labor. And that's where we had it budgeted in that line item. But then
does that bring on other payroll burdening in terms of?
no, because I mean, he didn't really, it was more as a part-time, so he wasn't getting benefits or anything other than his
Okay.
normal retirement that he got paid out through the city. But a lot of the extra benefits, no, it just basically moved him from a contract labor line item up into the payroll.
So you could capture workers' comp.
Yeah, so he would be under the workers' comp and stuff. That way we were covered if something happened while he was out in the field.
Got it. Thank you.
That was the main reason for that change.
Finally found it.
Property tax, is there any insights why it's so far below the budget?
Well, like I said, that's the one that last year, that in this year was the year we had the first freeze number, and they give us, when the county gives us that number, they don't break it down for me between what is maintenance and operating and what is the debt portion. And when I was doing the budget, for whatever reason, it didn't click in my brain. And I put all the revenue into maintenance and operating, not realizing that number should have been split. So if you do look, you will see that the revenue in the general fund went down. But if you look on debt service, I had underestimated it there, and you'll see the extra there. So we got the same amount of revenue. It's just one was in general fund, one's in debt, and I have to increase one and decrease the other.
So it's not like we're.
Yeah,
way worse income-wise.
we didn't lose money or anything like that. We got the same amount. It's just, it's in a different fund than what I had originally budgeted.
And then police expense being 100,000 below budget. Is there any insights on that one?
Which one?
Which one, Brendan?
Police expense.
I think his had to, his was the more the,
Okay.
Please remember to use the microphone. People online can't hear. Thank you, sir.
but it was,
You know, y'all know Fred passed away in the SRO, and then that position was held open for a few months until the new guy that was taking the job could come in. And that's the majority of that savings. And then I think it was about 10 or 15,000 in fuel savings.
Okay.
So the bottom line, Cynthia, is that there's $40,068 in the good, to the good on the plus side.
What I'm estimating
Budget performance for general.
is, like I said, believe I captured all invoices. We were having a lot of stuff come in late, but I think I've captured all of that. The auditors will come in and do a few adjusting entries, but they shouldn't have any bearing really on these numbers. I mean, it could change a little bit if there's something comes in that I don't know about, but that number should be close.
That's awesome. And this, a question applies when we take a look at the utility fund too, but we're going to end up with $450,000
Yeah, that one,
excess, which is awesome.
yeah, the
Does
general
it
was,
carry forward or go into reserve?
well, anything that's over would be like in a reserve. But like I said, we won't know the true number until the auditor gets through with his end of the year adjustments. Because like I said, they do come in and do, and I will admit, I do have a few entries to make, but most of them won't affect the revenue and the expense. They're more on the income, asset.
Bottom line is we might have some cushion for next year.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? I'll take a motion.
I can do that for you, sir.
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we approve the budget amendments for the 2024-2025 fiscal year budget as submitted.
A second?
Okay, we have a first and a motion and a second.
Good job.
All in favor? Unanimous. Okay, where are we?
Do we have to suspend roll call vote?
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, we did it last meeting. According to the new policies, we always have roll call unless we move to suspend at the beginning of the meeting.
Okay, we need to go back and do roll call. My bad. So I have a motion and a second. Brandon,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
yes for me.
Yes.
Tyrone,
Yes.
Mitch,
Aye.
unanimous. Okay. Discussion and action on authorizing expenditures for tax note per the ordinance 2025 -697.
All right, Mayor, Council, and citizens, I've updated this chart. There's been several actions that I've taken in the past couple of meetings that I wanted to document in a manner that's visually, kind of let you know where you are. So anything that's shaded in a color has been authorized and approved to begin spending for those items. Cynthia, correct me if I'm wrong, we have not issued one check against the 2025 tax note, but you have authorized, let me stand up. You have authorized the direct reports to begin ordering and spending those funds. So there's folks that are going to speak, but I want to know if you had any questions about those items. In the council meeting last week, you approved items 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. That doesn't mean they can go spend the whole thing, but I think Councilmember or Mayor Pro Tem Jenkins, you did say 300,000 in the notes. Obviously, those numbers add up more. They're going to exercise discretion, they being my direct reports, in this spending. Scroll down, please. The two that you approved spending for in the general category were the $75,000 computer software upgrade. And then, when was this last meeting on number 24 got approved?
Yeah, it was the last
Yeah.
meeting.
Okay. So, yeah, so you did approve AV system and rec center, at the rec center, and upgrades here, as well as the chairs. So that does not mean we're spending 125,000. They'll first you got to scope out the chairs, what kind of chairs you want, but the authorization was given to allow them to start exploring what options that you can pick from.
We can get some nice chairs for 125.
Yeah,
Oh,
but that's not just all. of
That
it.
was a joke to the audience. It was tongue in cheek.
Okay, one thing I'd like to talk about though is the upgrade for the AV system at the rec center. Per what you said, Robert, the solid waste management contract's going to go out. By the first of the year, we should be having town halls, and if we're going to have them, they need to be recorded or whatever so people can watch. And I'd like to have that AV system online so we can actually do the town halls in our rec center. If council is good with that.
I think it's great. Do we need to make that an action item or a motion?
I think we need to make a motion and do that because we talked about the chairs. We didn't talk about much of anything
In
else.
terms of prioritizing?
Last week, it was AV system for the chamber, the rec center, and then the chairs.
Was the whole thing? Okay, all right. Okay,
You're just saying you want to make sure that the AV system's done now?
yes, I want to
Yeah.
I want to move forward with that.
So,
That can be an action item.
We're
Yeah.
gonna direct
So
city manager.
we
to-
will direct city manager to do that, please.
Understood.
all right, so now my staff members, Chief Repka and Edward Belusic are going to ask for some things. Any questions you have of me of this spreadsheet? The date at the bottom, hopefully, Jeremy, you can continue this to give updates. The files will be on your computer.
All right, chief, come let us know what you need.
Pass out.
Mayor Pro Tem, I have a couple of comments, just if you're okay with that. I think just for some history for our new interim city manager, we as a council decided to freeze all tax spending, all tax note spending, just to allow you as many tools as you possibly could, not knowing where the budgets were and giving you that. So that is a lot of the reason why we're kind of going through this manual approval process until you get to a spot where you're comfortable. I think that a decision will be made to remove this requirement. But it's just a way to allow you to have more say and input.
And I appreciate the information. Robert has been kind enough to bring me up to speed, so I've been informed as well.
So my portion, the first portion has to do about the radios, as discussed in the last meeting or two where I've presented in front of you all. The car units, we'll call them the car units, are about 13 years old, and about 4 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, they were end of service life, so they are unable to be repaired. And that's a pretty long time for them radios. That's the quote. If you look at the top right, it's the non-N70 quote. It's the one that's just got the numbers. That gives you the total for the 15 units that we need. The N70 is the handhelds. They're right at a decade. I got notification about 3 weeks ago that those are end of service life now too. And so the total cost for all of these radios is $242,787. The last document you got is the financing options through Motorola with a pretty low APR. I think is like 5%. It shows a 3, 4, 5, and 7 year option. I had budgeted $75,000 for the radios. I want to circle back on the Kenwood versus Motorola. Gators is the system that we piggyback off of Austin and all agencies, probably within 2 hours to do, or at least an hour and a half or so. And the Kenwood radios are not interoperable with the encrypted system. So we have to stick with Motorola. I think the fire department's a little different. I think they've already maybe got some Motorola radios from some other source, but they're able to get those. So with that being said, the projection was $75,000 for the radios. I know that we probably can't spend $250,000 on radios all in one swipe, but for an initial payment of $69,575.07, that would put us in option 2 for the 4 years. Obviously, we would be committing money for 3 years after this year. but that would pretty much ensure us good serviceable radios that were new, that had 5-year warranties. So the warranties would outlast the payments. The warranty would be for 5 years. Support, warranty work, and all of that. So I'm asking that y'all consider everything. And my suggestion would be the 4-year option. We could go 5 because, I mean, that would be another, what's that, about 14,000 less on the payment for the year. So that would save you about 20 grand on this year's tax note, or 19,000. And then the radios would be under warranty the entire time we were paying for them. So 4 or 5, depending, if you wanted to save a little money for other projects or whatnot. That option 3 would be a good option too, because it would be 19,000 and some change under the 75,000 mark that we hit for radios this year. But it would allow us to finance them all and just get it all done. And they should be good for another, as these have been, at least a decade, hopefully, before they get end of service. We've just, y'all expect us to do fiscal responsibility, and we've done that, and we've used these as long as we can. And now we're to the point where, like I told y'all last time, if one goes out, a whole car goes down. I don't have one to switch out. I don't have a radio I can put in from somewhere else. I mean, it just goes out, it goes out. So that's where we're at on that. So.
Chief, let me ask.
Yes, sir.
Who did I interrupt? I always interrupt you. Go ahead.
That's okay. I'll interrupt you more. Cynthia, have you had a chance to look over this at all? Okay. I guess ignorant question is specifically a lease. Is this a typical lease where the product gets returned back to the company afterwards? Or
No, sir, I'm sorry. It's a lease purchase.
okay.
We're leasing to purchase. Yeah, it's a lease purchase. And if y'all need documentation on that, I'll get that. I mean, they sent me about 20 different packets, whether it was leasing, buying outright. I just tried to minimize it for you guys so y'all would get the nuts and bolts. I know y'all got a lot to think about, a lot to do. So those 2 first are you'll see at the end of each page kind of gives you the dollar figure for each, and that equals the 242,787. And so the financing, the lease purchase options that you see here are for the whole cake done, both the car radios and the mobile units. And so it does ask you to dedicate some funds throughout the year, throughout the next 4 or 5 years, or 3 or 7, whatever y'all choose, to finance them instead of writing a $250,000 check in one time.
Just logically speaking, as each of the department heads go through the process of this next step of the finding 1.75% cuts, wouldn't it not help you with your cuts to take the 4-year and lower the overall? I mean, that gives you 16,000 effectively in cuts.
Well, the 1.75, from what I understand, and I hope that I'm not wrong about this, these tax notes were separate. In other words, I cannot take anything into consideration on the tax note when I'm talking about my cut. If I'd have done that, I'd have cut a car. Much as I wouldn't want to, that's what I would have done, because we'll get into that later. I've talked to Mr. Frazier and Mr. Tamble about it. We're going to have a lengthy discussion about how we're going to try to resolve that. So is it going to help me? I don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
The tax note has always been held separate, and it hasn't been anything we've used into consideration. I know some departments have moved stuff from their budget to the tax note. This was never in our budget. This was strictly tax note purchases.
Understood. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Robert, do we have any money left in the 2023 tax note? Can we do this all together at one swipe and just take care of it?
We just discussed that. My mind's eye, there's 81,000 something left in the 2023 tax note under the police department. We need to pull that. Yep. Let her go research that.
Thank you.
I think something else for us to draw attention to, and potentially Cynthia may be able to explain the ramifications of this, but the payment commencement, if we were to start this today, the first payment isn't until the next fiscal year, from what I'm understanding here. So if we're agreeing to this 4-year term, we have to spend everything within 3 years. And so where do we see payment 3 and 4 of the 4-year note happening from? Because it's going to be outside the tax note window, right?
Yeah, so that may be something we need to talk to Andrew Friedman and Samco for, committed versus actually spent. I mean, if you've committed the funding and have a contract, that may give you an allowance to extend past the 3-year period. This is the first time that's come up. So let us take a look at that, or Mr. Frazier. regarding the 3-year expenditure. If you do a lease purchase, the tax note requires you spend it in 3 years, pay back in 7. But if you've committed that funding under a lease, does that qualify within the 3-year time period? Or have you exceeded the requirement by going 1 year over what you should? So that, yeah, so that's an.
And
that's
even
an
the
act
4-year would
we'll
actually
take.
be 2 years past because the first payment isn't due for a full year from now.
There's no prepayment penalty though, so if we got up to the
Yeah.
deadline, we could just,
Yeah, correct.
just pay it off.
What do you have left?
Well, this is his. So he's got that, but
This is David's.
yes, but he's got the mobile CAD units for police.
One eighty, Robert. I think we had around 180 left last we talked.
Question for you,
Yes, sir.
Chief.
Yes, sir.
The 2 fully outfitted patrol vehicles.
Yes, sir.
At that time, we were talking about lights, we were talking about everything, but I remember there was discussion about moving radio
Yeah,
and maybe the
107.
cage from car to car. Is that true with that number, or did that include the radio in?
No, that is without the things that we reuse that are super high value are the radios and the watch guard camera systems. Those move from car to new car. The other stuff does not. The cage, I mean, it's about 15,000 to outfit the car with equipment and the labor to do so. If not, it would probably be about 30 or 45 grand. Because a car is costing, I mean, I know Bastrop's paying close to 100 grand per car, but they buy new everything when they do it. We can reuse the radio. I mean, you know, an 8-month-old radio, as proven what we've done so far, 13 years on the mobiles and pushing a decade on the handhelds. We're going to move the stuff that we can move. We're all about saving money where we can. The other stuff, when you talk about taking light bars, I mean, that's $1,800. They, you know, they sit out in the sun all the time. They get broke down. So the low cost stuff we buy new. The high value items we reuse until we can't no more. As is, we're in the situation now with the radios.
So the fully outfitted patrol vehicles, that is minus the camera, minus the radio systems. Okay.
Correct.
And then just for clarity, what is the cost of the Motorola per radio?
Brandon, I inadvertently didn't keep a copy for myself. I only made some money, but if you just, that's for 15 units, each one of them quotes. So if you did divide each one of them by 15, also too, right now, understand we have 0 encryption. So as I spoke in the last meeting, the encryption to encrypt the radios that we have now, only our handhelds, the car units are too old. The handhelds that we have now that are approaching a decade do have the chip in them to be encrypted, but that would come at the cost of almost 2 grand per radio.
Yeah.
So the new ones, it's included in that price. So, you know, why would we encrypt at the cost of 1,800 or 2 grand per radios that may not be good? Well, they won't fix them no more now at this point.
So the encrypted radios on here, those are the handheld, or is that the car?
Both will be encrypted.
Well, I'm sorry, the line item number 2 at 5,000 to 6,000.
So when I first did this, Councilmember Dunham, I was unaware that the car units were
Okay.
needing replaced, as I indicated last time. Whenever I started doing an analysis of the equipment and stuff like that, and you know, I was just unaware.
So those that you have listed are the handheld ones.
That was for the handhelds originally. That original thought process was for the handhelds, yes. And we wanted to go with the Kenwood, but after speaking to the Office of Emergency Management, they're the ones to, we have an MOU with them through the county, as all the other municipalities do, to provide the infrastructure for the radio towers and stuff like that. The Kenwoods will not work with the encrypted status on that system through Austin. So not that I want to spend more money, but it's kind of like we're locked in to spend more money. Now, the fire departments have been able to go the cheaper route.
Yeah.
Not that they're any less important, but that they're able to because their stuff's not going to be encrypted. Ours, as I indicated before, several people have showed up to our calls, and from my colleagues at other chiefs around the area with these mobile scanning apps and stuff like that, they're really pushing to get this encrypted stuff. And Austin's already done it. You know, everybody in the outlying areas that work off that Gator system is kind of having to come in now, and they're wanting us to get on board. So,
Well, and I think even the fire department, they're mutual aid in the county, because I believe that was what was discussed at the meeting we were at, is they're headed towards encryption as well too.
oh, you know, they are for sure.
They're headed that way, but not like these guys.
Since they're not here today, I guess that they don't want to ask for approval of funding. Are you here today?
Tyrone's here.
Are you asking us to do item 21 down here?
I think
Yes.
where
You'll have to step down there if you want.
I think where I personally have a concern And this is, I feel this is a need. So it's not a concern saying, I don't want to support this. It is a concern, how do we pay for this? Because I do see that we have this payment plan. There's 3, 4, 5, 7-year plans that range from $90,000 to $42,000 per year, starting 1 year from the time that we execute the contract. If we were able to extend the tax note to be able to somehow get these payments in based on, we still don't have, what are we going to pull out of here? Because there's a lot that we'll have to pull out because this money has to come, the 242,000, because we don't have anything allocated. I mean,
Let me give some color. We've done some research right here. Sorry if we were being rude and not listening. But in the 2023 tax note, there is $721,000 remaining. Last council meeting, we allocated 150,000 of that to extend water and sewer to Tractor Supply. Chief Repka still has 167,000 in the 2023 tax note, but we need to coordinate, update this list, Chief, to see if that number is actually 167 or not, if you've spent some other things. I think we're pretty, you have it. Okay.
One minor old business I got to talk about, but other than that, there's no outstanding bills.
All right, so the 167 from the 2023 tax note plus the 75,000 for the 2025 tax note is $242,000. Add another 8,000 from another line item, you got your 250.
you still need your mobile radios though, right?
Correct. We need both the quotes that I've given you.
75, we can't, because he still needs to spend that 75 for his mobile radios.
Oh, I
So
thought-
we still need that
My bad.
75 for that.
Well, if
But-
you take that out, ironically, there's still 200,000 left in the 2023 tax note that you could charge things to, but that's got to be worked out. Don't think you're going to resolve that today without us doing more research and more numbers. But I think if you can, to your point, if you can buy these outright, it's a better deal. Long run, you're not paying interest.
I think
I think we need to give direction for them to investigate. Let's get the
let's table
20.
this for now.
Yeah, table it. And at the minute they find out where we are, come back. We'll, in the next meeting, and we'll do it in the November meeting. How's that?
Yeah.
I think we'll have the money for you then.
I think we just need to figure out what we're sacrificing, understand there's more nuance here, but it seems like there is a path forward here.
Can you wait till November
Of course.
for the meeting?
Sure, I can. Sure, I can. The only other last thing, and I'm sorry, I just kind of got this from a little bit of old business on the old tax note. Our WatchGuard camera system, which stores all of our videos, body camera videos, car cameras. Several months ago, I had Lewis start building us a new server because ours was obsolete and old and breaking down. This is basically just asking permission to spend $2,976.11 out of the 2023 tax note that we still have 160 or 70 grand left over. And he's done that work in October. After several months, he finally got the server ready, and we own that. That's an on-site server now. So asking permission to pay that bill under the old tax note.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'll make a motion. Make a motion to approve $2,976.11 out of which tax note?
23.
The 2023 tax note to Avenext.
Second.
Motion and second. Okay, Brandon,
Yes. Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Yes
Yeah.
for me. Tyrone?
Yes.
Mitch?
Aye. To be different.
Okay, passed unanimous.
Yeah.
Don't look so serious there, man.
Everything yesterday just for this. And I'm just playing. I was out around. Mayor, city manager, I was just gonna do a quick update real quick to let y'all know where we're at on my tax note stuff and everything. Again, we have not written any checks yet, but as of today, we can start from the top. The grant match, we're still running through. It's still sitting there. Tub grinding, I talked to the guy that we do for our tub grinding out there. And I let him know that, hey, we're going to wait till like March, April next year, bring him in, or whatever, talk about it, see what we can do for that. So pushed him out for a while. We can leave that sitting there and see what happens. See if we need to go there from here or what, and make it plan then. Line item 8, streets, drainage, sidewalks, curbs. Right now, all we have done, we've spent about $14,000 just on buying material that we were out of to go ahead and start patching, fixing doing stuff, a little cement work or whatever, but that's about where we're at right now. We're pretty steady. I think we're going to make it for a while. We shouldn't need too much more on that for the rest of this year. The utility, electrical upgrades and stuff, all that's in process. I've got the guys going out working to do all the upgrades and stuff. We haven't spent any money yet, but it'll be coming. The engineers and stuff right now are doing their job. So they're going to start sending bills and stuff coming, but it's not going to be what we said. I think I had 70,000 to spend. It's not going to be not even half of that probably at the time right now.
Edward, can you back up when you were on item 8?
Yes, sir.
You said you spent 14, you needed 14 to go ahead and spend for supplies you were out of the 200?
Yeah. So like what I'm saying is I think when I asked the last time I got granted 70,000 out of that 200,000. So far I've only spent 14,000 and that's all I needed to spend right at this second.
Okay.
Not saying
You're not going to read.
not saying a month or two down the road, we might not need to buy some more base or, more cold mix or what, but I'm just updating you about what I've spent so
I
far.
just want to make sure I didn't hear you say you're not going to need the rest.
No, I need it. I'm going to need it all. We're going to need it all eventually.
I
but
guess to clarify what you said for the rest of the year, you're talking about the calendar year.
I'm talking about calendar year. Sorry. Calendar year into December. Sorry. Yeah. I forget we go October to October, but calendar year wise, we should be set to go for the next couple months through the holidays.
Real quick question, just for clarification, on the sidewalks, you're using concrete, right? There's a certain temperature, obviously, that you don't want to do that work at.
That's correct.
So realistically, that means you have how many months left? Would you say 2?
Well, there's also some special cement that can be used or whatever in that deal. We don't try to do it because it's more expensive. So unless it's an emergency, there won't be any cement projects or curbs or anything going on until probably March of next year. Unless it's an emergency, but
It doesn't get as cold down here as it does in
it will
Oklahoma.
in February. That's usually about a week.
We've got like 1 week. We can't do that.
You're
And
1,000
in
miles
case
south
you-
now.
Yeah, in case you haven't noticed, we don't have winter.
I was going to ask, what's the cure temperature on that? I mean, what is your bottom?
Yeah.
Literally.
Truthfully, yeah. And it's funny because I don't know the exact, Fahrenheit or whatever, but you have to have like 2 to 3 nights at a certain degree, or so and so. And that's why like with TxDOT, doing their paving down Loop 230 and everything. That's why they're trying to get it done now before all this, hopefully the cold weather comes in, that's what they say. So I'm not an expertise to it, but I know there's a way to.
That's really tough when we have a 90-degree day and the next day it dips to 32.
You really got to watch the weather. So, okay. Back to where we're at, line item 10, still working on utility trucks. We haven't found anything yet. We're still looking around, trying to find good trucks and price ranges and stuff. But we're moving that. We're going to skip the wash bay. We'll go to the mowers. So let y'all know, I got the $35,000. I actually got 3 brand new lawnmowers in the other day, and I only spent $19,000 for all 3 of them. I got a great, humongous deal on that thing. So I got that, and we've got savings sitting there. The one ask, I'm gonna just make sure if it was good to do, and it's probably about $2,500 out of that. I do need to get a new trailer for the cemetery guys to pull those mowers because they go from cemetery to cemetery. And I didn't realize the other day when I looked at it, it's horrible. It's falling apart. So I have the savings in there. I was just going to try to grab a trailer out of that and then let the rest of the
You
money.
created the savings and you're asking for the trailer.
I don't want to do, I was asked to get lawnmowers. So I got lawnmowers, but I just want to make sure, and I'm gonna let the rest of the money just sit there, accumulate.
She's found a way to pay for it. I don't have a problem with it.
We don't want new mowers falling off of rotted boards on a trailer.
I think the trailer's part of the mowers. You can't move
Okay.
mowers around without it. So to me, that's all part of the same thing.
Okay.
And that's gonna-
I just want to be clarifying. I want to
Leave it at the cemetery, correct? Because that was some of the issue with the theft in the past.
say that again. I'm sorry.
The trailer is going to help us not leave it at the cemetery. 'Cause-
Well, we leave them, our mowers at the cemetery at Oak Hill Cemetery, but we also move to Mount Pleasant on Wednesdays to mow. So they have to have a trailer to move back and forth. And then also, if my mechanic can't go out to the cemetery to work on them and fix it, when they do maintenance and oil change and stuff, they bring them into the shop so they can wash them, clean them, oil changes, change the blades and everything out. They pull them on the trailer, bring them in, take them back out. So
Is that where they were stolen from? Is that where we had one stolen over there?
No, we had a mower stolen, but it was from Page Tractor. It was actually at the tractor
Okay.
place.
I thought we had two things stolen.
Well, we had an actual big tractor with a shredder stolen. That was out at Riverbend Park.
Oh, okay.
Is the police department here?
Man, we need those, wasn't it in the tax note to get them cameras up and working? Whew, we gotta get them babies going. Pay that bill. Pay that bill.
Just tell him you need more cameras.
So yes, we made a good deal on the mowers. We're good. Number 13 line item, mechanic truck lift, it's installed. I got it. It's in. We spent, I got the quote, I got to hear. $13,000 on his lift, installed and everything. Money saved.
Awesome.
Can you,
Working on it, man. Y'all let me.
It's paying for the radios over here.
I'm trying to do what I
and
can.
I know this because I came out there and we talked about it, but can you talk about the advantages of the new lift versus the old?
So yes, and I've got pictures. I wasn't totally 100% prepared today, but I'll get it maybe by the deal. But so this lift actually picks up our bigger trucks, our 3/4 tons to our dump trucks, you know, and stuff. Now, not our digger truck and stuff like that. That's way too big. Our old lift only picked up 1/2 tons, small police cars, stuff like that, little lawnmowers to pick up. So this thing actually is about 3 times bigger than what we used to have. And we've got the old one. They actually took it down for us and everything and put it on a nice pallet and stacked, and we took pictures of it. So any day now I'll put it on Gov Deals and try to sell it and get it gone. Revenue to that. And so we're still working on getting his computer diagnosed up and running, but that's supposed to be only like $1,000. So hopefully that'll be that and knock that out. Still searching for a stump grinder. I had one, but yeah, I kind of got sold already. So I have to go a different route, find another one. So looking for that right now as we speak. So back to now why I'm up here for the day. To ask. To ask. My miscellaneous tools and equipment. It's at that year of the time or whatever, and we're in need of pole saws and chainsaws and stuff. I need my miscellaneous tool equipment. I don't need to spend all 50,000 of it right now, and I don't plan on spending all 50,000 of it. That's probably the one line item that's going to last me all 3 years. But I do need to get that released so I can start. We do need to get some chainsaws and stuff because it's at that time now where we're cutting trees down, cleaning alleys, since we're not really mowing a lot and stuff. There's some wastewater tools.
Line item 16.
Line item 16.
You're asking for how
I'm
much?
asking to release the 50,000,
You want the full 50?
Can we just
please.
expose that to the initial approval for that maximum of the 300 since there's already all that savings in there?
I don't have a problem with it.
With that other go, we may need that somewhere else later in time.
No.
Again, that's my deal when like it pops up and say somewhere down the road, I do have a trailer that blows out in the middle of nowhere and it's my parks guys or whatever. That's my miscellaneous tools and equipment. Hey, I don't have to wait until council meeting or what. Hey, let me go get a $2,000 trailer so I can get y'all back up and running. That's the only reason I'm asking for the whole 50. I don't plan on sitting here spending the whole $50,000 as soon as I leave out of here. But you know, we need to spend some money and throughout the next 3 years, that's what's going to take us to get through all of this.
Anything else you're gonna need?
Yes.
Okay, we'll combine them all in one deal.
We held off.
I said 2 items, but hey, I'm saving money. Okay.
How much
Not December yet.
I know
was your total you saved?
What's that?
What was the total you saved?
Total I saved so far is, I'm gonna calculate this in my head.
Good luck.
What'd you say? 23,000. So I'm asking for line item number 11, my wash bay. My guy called me the other day. I have the quote right here, $19,900. November 8th, that quote goes out. I have to rebid and go back to it and get it done. And our pressure washer that we have is about 22 years old. We've been using it forever. We've patched the hoses. The police come by, they use it. The airport cleans their deals. I'm asking to try to get this done at this price so we can save another $5,000.
You got 15,000,
have that.
19,900 and 2,500 up above and something else?
Nope, that's it. I just need the 25,000 for my wash bay, my 50,000 for my miscellaneous. That's all I need.
So you need 11 and 16.
Yes, sir. 11 and 16 I need approved.
Okay.
The rest of what I've already got approved, I'm keeping with it and staying with it.
Well, you have the 23,000 in savings already, which almost offsets those two.
Yes.
Well, that's cool.
But I don't want to try to not to move anything or do any, I just want to keep it all where it's at in case we need something totally different down the road, $23,000.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Are you done?
Let me see. Yeah, I'm done.
Make a motion.
That's all I'm
Do
asking.
some more.
Every day I'm asking for. I want my 2 items.
I feel like Santa Claus.
It's getting
Mayor Pro
close.
Tem will make a motion on this that we approve line items 11 and 16 from the Public Works Utilities section of the 2025 tax note for spending.
I second that motion.
Have a motion and a second. Brandon?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Yes for me.
Yes.
Mitch? Mitch is unanimous.
You gotta turn your mic on. I gotta hear it. Thank y'all, council. Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Edward.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I need to look at that. Okay.
Thank you for all that work to save that money, seriously.
Anyone else? Anyone else? No? Okay, so we're through with that part. Okay. we're
Mayor
going-
Pro Tem, if I may ask Mr. Tamil a question, please?
You betcha.
On the, and I'm not sure, I think somebody else brought this up to me earlier in the week, maybe it was you, Counselor Meek, on the fire department radios. Is this, obviously, it's not urgent enough for a request to be made now. I thought we were needing to release that. Is there an update?
So initially, the radios,
21.
we were using the Kenwood versus the Motorola. I think it's come to light now that those might not be compatible with the encryption. But so Tyrone, is it compatible?
Yeah, he said Kenwood.
Okay, so that's up to you when you want to pull that trigger, council and Tyrone.
Honestly, what I'm thinking about is, do we need to have another one of these meetings next week? Because we may have more requests. And if this is the only thing outstanding, we could deal with it now and not have to do this again.
Gonna be hard to have a meeting next week. We're gonna be
Be a team
out of
L.
town.
Do the
Oh, we're out next week anyway.
Yeah.
does the
Tyrone,
fire
do y'all
department
need
and
that?
the police not need to be able to communicate? Do they not need to be on the same radio?
We would be able to communicate, they just wouldn't have access to our encrypted channel. I mean, there's 150 channels on that radio.
But if the fire departments are also heading towards encryption, which is a lot of the argument for creating the radios right now, do they not need to be on the same level of encryption or same channels?
Don't know, ESD3 just purchased like 35 new radios, the Kenwood one, that are not encrypted, so that's more of a technical question than I can answer that.
So you can talk to them, they just can't talk to you on your encrypted channel.
Channel that they're not gonna be able to hear on our radio.
Are you texting?
I don't think the fire department needs the encryption level that they have, because you're gonna see a fire from far away. If they're gonna go out and see it, they're gonna see it.
Well, I guess where my questions are coming from is whenever we went to the training, whenever they're talking about the large aerial fires that require mutual aid, they end up going on the encrypted, and I believe they were talking about the Gator system as well too. And so at any point, whenever we're having a large emergency event in the area, they go to an encrypted channel. And I just question, should we be headed that direction if we're making that investment now versus, I mean, ESD3 apparently isn't, but that seems to be the direction that
I think we're gonna need to
For
follow
some
up on
reason,
it. Counselor Washington is texting with Chief Clemens right now, and apparently they've already ordered 4 with 4 more on the way.
And I'll just answer a basic question to sit down, Brandon, but the radios will do both. Like our radios will do both. So if there is a neighboring agency that's not encrypted, let's say Fatonia or whatever, we'll be able to speak to them. They just won't be able to, on the reverse end, get on our encrypted channel. So they will have both versions on that encrypted radio.
Perfect. Can we action Mr. Fraser here to coordinate with the Bastrop County Office of Emergency Management, just understand where they're headed?
I think that where we were in that meeting, who was speaking with that is the A&M Fire and Wildlife. They were the ones that were talking about the encryption. So we can just, yeah, he can talk with them and that's who we'll need to talk with.
Yeah, I would just hate to make an investment in radios that are gonna be obsolete in 2 years.
If you can do that and have that by the city council meeting in November. Okay, thank you. So nothing else on the tax notes? Robert, is that all we need to know about the tax notes?
That's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right. We're going to go into the closed meeting. The city council will hold an executive session pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551 Government Code in accordance with authority contained in Section 551.087 to discuss economic development matters related to the city's current PID enclave at River Bend. And also, the city council will hold an executive session pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 515, Government Code, in accordance with the authority contained in Section 551.074 to discuss the position of interim city manager at 12:50. Okay. Are we ready? You were ready. Okay, I call this meeting back to order from executive session at 2:14 PM. And I'm looking for a motion.
Mayor Pro Tem, on item 5 in relation to the position of interim city manager, I make a motion that we approve a housing stipend in the amount disclosed in the executive session.
I second that motion.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Mr. Dunham,
Yes.
Ms. Meeks,
Yes.
Jenkins is a yes,
Yes.
Tyrone's a yes, Mitchell? You got your mic on?
Yes. No.
Aye.
All right. Motion is unanimous and carries.
A.
And I believe that is
Has
all on,
action taken on number 4?
there's, and no action on number 4. So I believe we are adjourned.